The survival mode is really hard. It's really hard. I mean, it just brings every bit of emotion from you. And the moment you pass the survival and you go into like an operation, more an operator, and then eventually a builder, you reach to a level that you never want to go back to the survival mode. The pain of the survival mode is so much in your mind that I never want to go back. I never want to go back. And this is the fear of losing what you have built. I reached to a level that I'm always worried. What if I lose this? What if I lose this? Despite there is nothing that is showing that it could be lost. But it's because in your mind during Krieg that I really went through a lot of pain. I don't want to go back in. So you're always thinking of the pain rather than the excitement. I started building as a reasons to believe that if you did it one time, 2 times, 3 times, it's not a coincidence. Most probably it's a set of skills that you have that you can use and navigate forward.
Exactly.
And what this had helped me is it shifted totally my mindset from being an anxious, on the spot, take a decision to being a bit more calm that I can breathe before taking a decision.
Have you ever had to start completely from scratch? Not just a business, but everything around it. Your network, your credibility, the way people perceive you, the reputation that you've spent years building in one place and then you had to rebuild it again in another. That is the question that is at the heart of today's episode. And honestly, it's something I experienced more than once. Whether you are an entrepreneur who is relocated, or you're a founder breaking into a new industry, or even someone who is simply outgrown a version of yourself and you're starting over something new that you've never done before. This is a question beyond business logistics. It's about what people think of you before you had the chance to prove yourself again. My guest today knows that firsthand. Moatez left behind a strong corporate career at Unilever and Nestle in Dubai and moved to Canada in 2019 with his family. But within a year, he founded MyCourier right in the middle of a pandemic. Today, MyCourier has over 160 employees. It serves major retailers like Amazon, and he has won national and local business awards. Moatassem is also the chair of the board of the directors of the Oakville Chamber of Commerce. He's a speaker that has taken stages like TEDx and Dubai Chamber. But what I really want to dig in today with him is not the highlight reel. It's the process. How do you survive the gap between who you were and who you're becoming? How do you build trust in a new market when no one knows your name? And what does it actually take to go from a founder to someone who builds value beyond their own company? So this is a conversation for anyone who is navigating a new chapter, and they need to be reminded that starting over is not a setback. It is actually a strategy. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Moatassem, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. I've been really looking forward to this conversation. As I've been telling you before we start recording, my notes are ready, so I hope you are as well. And thank you so much for giving us your time today to have this conversation.
Super excited for our conversation, our talk. I mean, what can we say? Sunshine out there, the weather is good today. Let's have a nice, energetic talk today.
Exactly. It's a good start. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, because I really think that context matters, especially in this case, the conversation that we're having today. You are a person who had a real career behind you. So I'm talking about big names. We're talking Unilever, Nestle. You had your own startup, angel investing. There's a whole career behind you. So technically, you're not starting from zero when it comes to your experience. However, when you landed in Canada in 2019, on a market recognition level, you're basically unknown. So I want to start with that gap, the gap of you knowing your worth, but at the same time, you having to prove it again to a brand new audience. Can you tell us more about that gap?
Yeah. So, okay, let me give you a little bit of a context of it. I mean, you spoke about working with different multinationals. I spent 15 years of my career in Dubai, and working in Dubai is a different country with a different system, ecosystem, style of life. Everything is a bit different than in Canada. When I took the leap and I came to Canada, myself, my wife, and I had two boys, I came here, I was 37 years old. So it was a bit more on the mid-sized career, if I want to put it this way. I'm not still a freshman. I'm not new from university. My experience was a bit high. When I came here, I didn't have a lot of expectations. I didn't know what I'm going to be doing. I didn't know where to work. I thought, and I say I thought because this is where the theory is different than practical. I thought that what I had is of great value added, automatically plugged in Canada. But when I came and I started applying for jobs, and I'll tell you why I started applying for jobs, everyone told me this is the only way to get into the system, just apply. I started applying. Unfortunately, I heard a lot of no's, don't have Canadian experience, you're overqualified. I mean, all the different textbook type of
Excuses.
replies or excuses, exactly. So I felt this chapter doesn't really fit me, and I folded this chapter quite early. And I started getting more into, okay, maybe I can add value in the entrepreneurship landscape. And this is where I started my first business. It was an online retail just a couple of months before COVID. And unfortunately, it went down the drain. The products were not fitting the COVID lifestyle. It was all outdoor. So the business just dropped, and I spent a lot of money on inventory, on fulfilling, on logistics, on all these parts, and I had to close this chapter. And I'm saying this for one reason, is because your plan that is in your mind of your steps in Canada is 100% not the same as what will happen on reality. Your value added might not be exactly the same things that you think you have. There could be other value added that are already in your system, you already have, but it was not yet exposed to the real life. And Canada will expose it. Canada will get the best out of you and it will get the worst out of you. But it's more of you, how can you take both together and then eventually come up with this sort of new character, new attitude for you to be able to move forward in your journey in Canada.
Yeah, it's, like I totally get what you're saying. It's like you go through, and you describe it a lot also in your content online. You go through like different phases. There's the survival phase, then it's like the building phase, and then you move on to another phase. So I really like that kind of perspective, because it's an honest perspective. There's, as you said, you cannot just parachute and think that everything is going to be exactly the way you imagine it. A lot of people, when they share their story, they automatically go to the building phase, and this is what we did and everything. But you've started with the survival, because that was a chapter that was, as I understood, necessary for the next chapters. What did that, going from one phase to another, to the birth of MyCourier, what was this transition like? Like, what did it cost you? Not in terms of finance, but what did it cost you in terms of identity, if you want?
Rana, I'll tell you something. I like when you're saying the phases. One phase before survivor is, I would say, it's being lost, literally lost. You have no clue where to go, where to start. You're doubting every step that you took. You're always listening to people that are telling you, why? Why did you move? Why did you let go of everything you had and you just starting to start again? And you're doubting your decisions. And I'm saying this because not everyone is in your shoes. Not everyone understands you personally. So people will speak from their own point of view. So it's important in this lost phase, you keep pushing to the survival. And in the survival, and I think the survival mode that we all pass through is just, we want to keep the lights on, just basic payments. And I think during my survival, I tried lots of things. I tried to be a delivery driver. I tried to do the online business. I tried multiple things. Some of them worked, some of them did not. But the part that is important during the survival, and I think this is what made me even push forward, is you always want to think of, yes, the present moment. What are you doing right now? And do the job as much as you can, best of you can. But also, don't sit back and say, that's going to be my life. Always try to find something a bit further, some hope, some light at the end of the tunnel. I made a video that I called it Hope. Hope is the only thing that makes us get out of bed in the morning, energized for us to push through. So when you're doing this survival, know that this is a phase. This is not you. This is not going to be the full part. This is a phase. It's just don't let go of thinking, what can I do more for myself and my life, and how can I better myself and my family after the survival?
Yeah. So, I hear like between those lines, as if you had to let go of something. Did you need to let go of certain things to move from one phase to another?
Yes. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I had to let go is ego. I had to let go my ego big time. We're trained that as you grow in your career position after the other, you get certain status. You got a certain level that you want to maintain. The challenge is when you not drop one level, but when you drop back into level 0. This is it kills your ego, it kills your self-confidence, it makes you feel that, what am I doing? I had to let go this part. In my mind, I had to think, okay, if I'm letting go this ego, because eventually it's not going to pay my bills. Eventually I need to somehow survive. So letting go and being humble enough to say, I'm going to learn whatever I'm doing from the start. Even if I'm at 37, 38 years old, and most probably whoever is training me just graduated a year ago from university, that's okay. Learn and start building it one step at a time from there.
Okay, since you opened the door of the building, I wanna ask you something which is from my line of expertise, the personal brand and reputation standpoint, if you want. You came in with real credentials. You had real things that you have done. You were in real rooms. You were in real positions. And you've built a reputation in a region that is in a certain type of a dynamic for that region, the Middle East. But when you move to Canada, and that's a lot of things that a lot of people think, they think that your credentials kind of come with you, or at least they transfer with you the same way that you physically move. When in reality, you actually have certain skills that come with you, but you need to rebuild that reputation, rebuild that image, rebuild that name in this new market with new dynamics. In your journey, did that happen intentionally, or was it like an organic thing, part of the work that you created and you built for yourself?
Rana, I think what helped me was, and this also what sometimes differentiate people in Canada versus outside, is I tried to really lock in. And when I say lock in, is put my focus in Canada. A lot of time, what will happen is you would come to Canada physically, but mentally, you are in another region. Yeah. You're always thinking of your old sort of journey. You're always thinking of how would I have been now there. And all this eventually takes a lot of your energy, takes a lot of your resources and the way you're living. So what helped, and I'll go back to your question, is that I came and I said, I'm here. I'm locked in here. I'm focused here. And I would see what value added the market need. And I would take these set of skills that I have and would bring it in. And I'll give you a more practical example. When I started the company I started is called MyCourier. It's a last mile delivery company. When I started, I never worked in logistics. Never ever. I have no clue how does the logistics industry go. I have no clue how can you manage routings of trucks on the road, hiring people that are more on the level of dispatcher, driver, supervisors. I never worked in this before. But I had one skill which I was able to transfer. I'm a very commercial / operation person. I can build systems. I know how to put structure to an unstructured organization. I can put the puzzle together. And this is what exactly I did. I said, okay, I don't know the logistics. Maybe I can take this set of skills and add value to really build a company around logistics and operation and learn it as we go. Add to it, and where the logistics came, and maybe some of the audience will think and say, okay, yeah, but how did you start? Where did you get the first client? How did you get from there? I think it's having the chance to keep an eye on opportunities and not being scared to try. When I started the company, I started during COVID. So the company was registered in July 2020, literally 3 or 4 months after COVID. And I saw it in April with COVID that online orders are growing, but the delivery capacity is not picking up at the same level.
True.
And I didn't see it because I went online and I researched it. No, I saw it because I picked up the phone. I was calling a grocery store next to my place, and I asked them for orders to deliver, personal order. The gentleman told me, I have 0 delivery capacity. Come pick up your stuff. And when I went and I picked up my stuff, this is where a light bulb came. I was like, why did you ask me to come and pick? You don't have someone to deliver. You don't deliver yourself. He said, there are lots of orders coming in. We have 0 planning for these deliveries. We didn't see this coming. I mean, myself and a lot of other retailers next to me, we're struggling to be able to fulfill it. And at this particular moment, I asked him, do you need someone to deliver your items? He said, yes. I told him, I have a car, I'll deliver for you. And I worked as a delivery driver. And by delivering this, in my mind, and what I was saying before is I did a good job as a delivery driver. I really had great deliveries to a level that my tips that I get on the day was more than the actual cost of these deliveries, because I wanted to do a good job as a delivery. But in my mind, I was like, how can I study this? What are this value added I can have in this industry? Is there anything I can transfer from my own knowledge, experience, skills that I can build it? 3-4 months down the line, I said, I can really see this unique proposition I can have. Boom, started the company and started the last mile and literally just build it one step at a time from there.
And while you were building, if we go back to the building your network and building your reputation, like when you go to certain vendors and you say, okay, I'm gonna do it. How does that trust starts? Like, how do you build that trust? How do you build, like, I am a person who is reputable, I can do this for you, this is the background that I have. Like, how does the reputation part get structured?
So the toughest years you have in Canada building a business is your first 2 to 3 years. And I'll tell you why. Because exactly what you're saying, a lot of client vendors, financial partners, whatever you want to call suppliers, all of them, they really don't know you. And the challenge is because we are an immigrant country, a lot of people expect that you might be coming as a transition. You might not be coming and staying for long. And in their mind, they're like, should I really invest in you? Should I train you? Should I onboard you? I mean, think of it. When you come to Canada and you go to the bank and they give you a credit card, barely they give you a limit, $2,000, because they don't know you. And you start building your credit from there. So the first 2 to 3, I want to say, is the time that you need to be super creative on getting things done. Super creative. It's not going to be straight line. And I'll give you a small story. I needed to get my first couple of vans to be able to do the operation. This was somewhere around maybe October 2020, a couple of months after I started the company. And I went to van dealers. They didn't want to give me any van. They were like, you don't have any credit history. Your company's a couple of months. how can we lease you or finance you? We cannot.
Yeah, and it's COVID and nobody trusts
COVID.
anybody. We don't know what's going on.
100%, 100%. And I went and I said, okay, let me rent it. So I went to all these rental companies, whatever you want to call it, Enterprise, Hertz, Budget, all these. They looked at me and they're like, you know what, we're not really trusting what you're saying as a vendor. Will you pay on time? You don't have any invoicing cycles coming in. We don't know even if you have any training and processes in your company to even maintain these vans. Are they going to be like bumping cars and we're going to pay a lot of damages? Wasn't sure. So to be fair, they said we can rent, but you need to pay 3 months in advance. Too much cash to put. At this time, everything I was paying from my own savings, so I needed to really be conscious in every dollar I spent. So I was like, it's going to be hard for me to pay this. So in my mind, I was like, what can we do? And as you said, it was COVID. I took myself and I went to the airport, and the airport was closed at that time.
Yeah.
And I asked for a limousine company. And I asked them, do you have any passenger vans? These white touristic vans.
Yeah, I remember.
And the gentleman came and said, yes, come, I'll show you. He took me to the parking lot and I can see all white vans collecting dust. Airport was closed. There's no tourists, no visitors. So these vans were sitting idle. I told them, I'm going to have 10 vans from you confirmed for 4 months, but I have 2 conditions. 1, I don't pay in advance. I pay after the month. He's like, done. 2, we're going to take all these seats at the back, the passenger seats. We'll remove them together and we'll take them off. He was like, what are you going to do? I told him the whole story and he was like, done, we do it. And the moment I started this, give it 3-4 months after this, I want to say somewhere around maybe Feb 2021, this is where the same rental companies that didn't want to work with me at that time, they reached out and they were like, we heard about your operation, we heard about your thing, we want to give you facility, and it goes from there. So sometimes you need to be a bit creative out of the norm to just build a little bit of your credentials to say, yes, I'm here and my word is one word. I will do it for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, this experience, this is really an honest experience. This is something that is not unique to Canada. Like if you're going into something, a new place, if you're starting all over, or even starting something new, you were in a different industry and you decide that you want to change your industry. So it's a new experience. It's a new industry you're in. Starting over is always, as you said, slow in the beginning, but it's like very strategic decisions that you do in this slow phase is the one that's going to create that foundation, if you want, of the trust building. You know, it's like the tokens that you collect along the way. Some, you know, in your example, some of the suppliers needed financial backing trust. Some of them needed to know if there is like a skill trust, like, do you know what you're doing? Is the business moving? Is it, you know?
Yes, 100%.
If we you know, if we go again, if we stay on the point of the local, let's say, experience within either, as I said before, within a market, new market that you're going in, or if you're starting a new industry, there's always this local type of experience. In Canada, it's the Canadian experience. And this is not something that I see that is very much, how can I say, it's a dynamic unique to Canada. This is something that in any place around the world, you'll have that same stepping stone. So regarding this local experience, you've mentioned a little bit about how did you navigate that. But if today there is a new founder who is starting a new business, or if it's a new leader of a company, a leader who is now entering a new market, or as I've said before, someone who is starting in a new industry, what do you believe are the key things that can help them to create or to kind of step over that local proof? Like what are the key things that they will need to get over that hurdle?
You know, Rana, I think Canadian experience at the beginning, just to put it, so I applied for a couple of companies and I got this rejection with Canadian experience. Now, retrospect, when I'm thinking right now, fast forward a couple of years, I hired people that were new to Canada. And I said, you know what, put Canadian experience on the side. I don't need it. And I'm not talking about drivers and entry level. I'm talking about managerial level.
Okay.
But I can tell you what I learned from this experience firsthand. The challenge you have is a lot of people would be coming, and in their mind, they want any job to start, which is fair. Same thing I did, which is okay. But the challenge is when they're having this first job, in their mind, they're not seeing that this job is really something worth it. You will find them there giving 50% of their energy. You will find them there on LinkedIn during the whole day searching for other jobs. You will find them working, feeling that they are much overqualified than the job itself. So eventually what happens is you feel that this is a person that is not really excited to the job itself. And because you're new, you will always get some sort of an entry level versus a very senior. So when I say Canadian experience, or the way I saw it firsthand is, are you mentally here? Are you invested in the role you're in now? Even if it is temporary, and I know it would be temporary, but give it your best shot. Don't make this role be a way that, how can I put it, disturb your reputation. Leave this role knowing that you gave 110%, that really the company and the people working in it felt that you really made a big leap in this role when you're there. And this is, again, across all countries, not only Canada. Any country you will go to, you will start most probably a couple of levels below your benchmark. Treat this role as not your survival role, as your career role. When I did the delivery, the driver, literally I was thinking as I'm just delivering from point A to B, until I had one incident that changed my whole mind. And this incident was the first time I took cash tips. It was a lady I remember quite well, somewhere I think around maybe June, something like this. And she gave me cash tips during COVID. At that time, the interaction was a bit difficult to knock the door and leave things and things. So she gave me a cash tips. And at this particular moment, it was an eye-opener that whatever job you're doing and you really do it with an extra mile, someone will acknowledge you. It could be cash tips, it could be a promotion, it could be a tap of the back, it could be a thank you, whatever the acknowledgement, someone have noticed you. Trust me, Rana, the next day, the tips that I had been getting was enormous because I started understanding the role. I really understand it. What can I do extra as the delivery driver to make sure that the customer will appreciate and will give me this 5, 10, 20 tips per order? Same exact thing if you're on a desk job. Do this extra, even if it's an entry level. This is where you will build your reputation. And in this country, and trust me, I see it a lot, they want a win-win. They want people that are really putting in the effort and the work. It's just a matter of proof for them that I'm here for long term and I do everything as it should be.
Exactly. And this goes across the board on different things. And I'm going to ask you this, if you agree with me on that. I have a lot of discussions with, with clients who are mostly people who are moving from or want to move from corporate world to having their own business. And sometimes especially if you are new to that industry, especially that, but it works across the board. Most of the time I say, please don't quit your job. Go and train somewhere else. Yes, I know you are at this level, but you need to train at a company that is doing the same thing that you want to do, or within the same industry that you want to penetrate. You know what I mean? So starting at a point where you are able to see the business or to really understand the culture within the organization, but also within the market, your customers, your clients, whoever they are, It's really, really important. So it's a mindset, whether you are moving to a new country or whether you are moving to a new industry. Do you agree with that?
Yes,
Or do
yes.
you think people should leap and they need to leave their ego behind, and that's
Now, I'll tell you how do I put it, and I put it for you in an example of sports. So a CEO for me he's like an international professional football player. He really knows how his skills, he knows how to do it. But then he comes in a time and says, man, I just want to go solo and go to the gym. Both are sports. They're under the same umbrella of sports, but this is a different sport. If you get a professional football player and told him just go to the gym on your own and maneuver it, he'll get bored. He's not used to being alone. He's not used to not having people around him and support. He's been a CEO with teams and resources and managing P&Ls, and after in a while he will be alone in office. And just to be fair, at the beginning, any company, you're solo. You're solo. You're solo in everything. In the acknowledgement, you're solo. In navigating problems, you're solo. In everything, you're solo. And knowing how to be able to move forward when things are not fully matching your expectation of timeline is important, because it will not match your timeline. It's not like I'm going to pull the plug. And the best example, when I speak with someone and he tell me, I'm going to leave, I'm going to start my company. I was like, okay, I have my first 3 clients. Who are they? So and so in this company, so and so in this company, and so in that company. All 3 of them, they don't answer the phone the moment he leaves, because these people are friends that, yes, wish you luck, wish you good best, but these are not clients. Clients are something, friends are something.
Yeah.
And you need to keep in mind that you will still hustle a lot on your own at the beginning. So your point of should I leave right away and jump into a leap or not? There are 2 schools in it. There is one school that says pull the plug and go, because once you're in a survival mode, you'll figure it out, which is okay. This is one school. But the other school, which again, I think it works well, and this is the way I started back in Dubai when I started moving from Nestle to own business, is I started with a small project, not knowing that this project will become a company. But as you're building it, your eye will look at things different. When you're in a corporation, you don't see opportunities, unfortunately, because you're in a comfort zone. But when you're outside, even if it is on the side, your eyes start seeing things totally different. You will see one word a friend of you will tell you, and it will light bulb. And you'll say, man, I can see an opportunity here. How can I try it out? So having this side hustle, side work, until you feel comfortable that can really work alone and I'm okay financially, resource, mentally, emotionally, then take the step from there.
Yeah, and when you're building or when you're creating something new, you're working as the example of the friends who are clients but friends. You're building across different things, like you're building a reputation not as an employee but as a business owner, let's say, or not an employee in this industry but in another industry. You're building a new network. You're building it's like new trust threads that you need to rebuild, or you need to reshape it in a different form because you were seen in a different form, and then you're kind of pivoting to something else. One of the important things about personal brand is the leadership, because your reputation is not only for the outside, but you're building a team. The team could be full-time, the team could be suppliers. I mean, there is someone else other than yourself at one point that is building with you. And there was an article about you in TEC Canada. I really liked it, and there's a line that stayed with me. I want to quote you on it. You said in that line, you said that you realized at some point that you were growing out of fear of losing clients, fear of instability. And there was a mentor there that challenged you to grow from excitement instead of fear. And that's a huge mindset shift. So the first mindset shift we talked about was starting over. What does it really take to start over? How do you build? How do you kind of transfer your credentials? What do you keep between them? And then starting in a place where the audience don't know you, they don't know your story yet. Same thing when it comes to leadership. When I read that line, and that's why it stayed with me, because I would really like to know, what does it mean that once that you start building, that you're growing, or you're moving, your movement is based on fear instead of based on excitement. So that's the mindset shift that I wanted to ask you about. And what happened once you realized it and you actually took intentional steps of leading from excitement versus fear?
You brought a nice, you really brought a nice quote there. And yeah. So it brought some memories there. So the survival mode is really hard. It's really hard. I mean, it just brings every bit of emotion from you. And the moment you pass the survival and you go into like an operation, more an operator, and then eventually a builder, you reach to a level that you never want to go back to the survival mode. The pain of the survival mode is so much in your mind that I never want to go back. I never want to go back. I never want to go back. And this is the fear of losing what you have built. I reached to a level that I'm always worried. What if I lose this? What if I lose this? Despite there is nothing that is showing that it could be lost. But it's because in your mind you're intrigued that I really went through a lot of pain. I don't want to go back in. So you're always thinking of the pain rather than the excitement. Until I spoke with, he's my actually business coach. His name is Jeremy. And I told him, I'm worried. And he was like, from what? I was like, I'm not sure, but I'm worried. I'm losing. I'm worried. I'm worried that I lose a client, I lose team, I lose this. I'm worried. He's like, and this is where the mindset that he shifted. He started really bringing stories of things that I started building as reasons to believe that if you did it one time, 2 times, 3 times, it's not a coincidence. Most probably it's a set of skills that you have that you can use and navigate forward.
Exactly.
And what this had helped me is it shifted totally my mindset from being an anxious, on the spot, take a decision, to being a bit more calm, that I can breathe before taking a decision. I had been taking decisions on the go. I'm a very fast decision maker. Sometimes it flops and it's a decision that should not have been taken, and sometimes it goes well. But I reached to a level now, because I don't fear not taking a decision on the spot, I'm able to tell people, let me think about it. Let me sleep over it. I don't get decisions on the spot anymore. And this made me a bit more calmer, that I'm able to really think and eventually have a decision that supposedly is well thought of rather than emotionally triggered on the spot. This makes also people that work with you, whoever they are, feel more confident in you, because they know that when they pass you something and you say, I'm going to be taking my time to think about it, that you're consciously going to think about it. So they trust your input, your value, your observations, your decision eventually, if it moves there. So I think the shift, if I can put it in one sentence, is from emotion, decision making and action into more thoughtful, calm, and having time to have these talks like what we're having right now without feeling what's happening outside, what's happening in the world, what's happening in the operation. You're more content. No.
And I like Jeremy already, but but this is really interesting, because I mean, we're talking at a point where you have 160 employees, 160 plus maybe at that point employees in your organization. Does that kind of addition to your leadership skills, that's mindset shift, that kind of addition to your leadership, do you feel that it's that you're now your relationship the internal relationship and the culture that you are creating within the organization, is this something that now even more translates your, as a leader, your core values, your personal beliefs, like business beliefs, and your vision and your mission? Do you believe that with that shift, this also not only built more trust, but also got everybody to create that kind of internal community in your organization, to kind of understand who is this leader that I'm trusting, but I agree with their beliefs and I'm okay and I want to move forward with them? Do you believe these shifts?
Yes. So at this size of a company, just to also compare, if you're a CEO in a big corporation, multinational, most probably the culture is not relying on you specifically. It's an overall culture that had been built. At the size of a medium-sized business, you are the culture. Whatever you would do when you say lead by example, it's true. Because if you don't lead by example, the whole system will not work. Because at this size, most of what you notice is people are doing also multiple things. So you don't have one job description. It's not like you have a very similar to the corporation, you have a very hiring HR specific role. No, you'll have an HR that does the performance, the hiring, the whatever policies, the everything there, the admin. So at this particular time, they need to be able to pull from you because they speak with you on almost a daily basis. They see your reactions to things. They see the way you react to a message, to an email, to a phone call, to someone coming into your office. They see it. They're literally observing. So this observing part needs to be translated into the way you react. If you're anxious, everyone is going to be anxious. If you're pressured, everyone's going to be pressured. But if you're able to put, and I say even to the team, I tell them there's a thin line between being pressured and having urgency. You need to have the urgency still at the end of the day, but it's not pressure. It's not to the level that we feel we're going to lose everything if we don't do the action right now. No, it's not this. It's we're going to do it. It's urgent. It's on our list, but we need to give a good thought how to do it in the right way. And I see the team also changed with me changing this sort of being a bit more calmer on the decisions that we do.
I love that. And you've done even more than that, because you really look at, if we are going to talk in marketing terms, you looked at your audience and you were building trust in different ways. So you have the external audience, your clients. We just talked about your internal audience, who are your team members and of course your suppliers as well. And you're building more of a community. That's part of the personal brand. And today, you are the chair of the board of the Oakville Chamber of Commerce. And this is a really deliberate community investment. And I'm saying this because I'm looking at it from a personal brand dimension. What you're doing is that you are now also working on a personal brand on a trust level that is not just civic leadership because you are a good citizen, but it's because you are very intentional in giving a certain powerful reputation signal through that community as well. So from that community, the third community that you are building, or you're effectively still in it, of course. How did this role come about, and how did this particular strong signal impact your leadership, your business maybe directly, and of course, the way other leaders in the industry see you?
Very good point, Rana. So how the chamber came, it started by me getting nominated for one of the business awards in 2021. And I got nominated by one of the clients as Entrepreneur of the Year. And this is where I got to know about the chamber. I never knew them before. I won the award. And the day I won the award is the day I went to the chamber and said, you know what, I want to be a member. What does it take to be a member for the chamber? And I became a member with them. But this is where things really changed. It's like anything. You get out of it the same level that you put into it. So if you're putting your time into anything, if you go to the gym, if you have a membership and you never go to the gym, you're not going to get results. But if you show up every single day, eventually someone will see you in the gym and say, you know what? Do you want me to coach you? Do you want me to help you? Do you want me to guide you? Same exact thing with the chamber is I showed up. I showed up to the events. I picked up the phone when there was any need of a member that needs support. And from there, I moved into part of the board of directors and also showed up. And from there, I became the chair. And the whole idea of this is, it's not one thing that I can give as a formula and say, if you do this plus this plus this, you'll get it. It's the combination of all of them together. And the chamber, and a lot of people would ask me, tell me, do you get clients out of the chamber? No, I didn't get one single client out of the chamber. And this was not the objective of the chamber for me. The chamber is and I would put it this way, it's a stamp of validation. It's a stamp that you are in this business community. You understand the value added. You are there to support, and eventually it will open doors for you. Because a lot of the vendors I work with, call it my accountant, banking relationships, are all coming through the chamber because they felt that this is someone that at least we can shake hands and have a talk with. Even the overall personal brand that I have online, if I send someone a DM and say, can we have a talk? They will check first, who's this person? What does he do before? What does he engage with? And the moment they see that he has a business, he's engaging with a reputable organization like the chamber, he had a couple of events that looks decent with a couple of people that are well known in the society, it will open a conversation. Where does the conversation go? That's up to you. This is the way you can showcase your business, showcase your thing, but at least it will open for you a conversation because someone will say, this person seems decent enough. Let me have a talk.
Now let's get a bit tactical here. What I've seen from the story, when I was reading your story, from our connection, we are connected on LinkedIn first and foremost, and we had conversations before. You like to not only invest in yourself, but you kind of build those trust signals. I'll give you an example, and then you give me some tactical advice.
So,
between the TEC, between the Chamber of Commerce, these are different trust signals. It's you're trusting yourself as a leader, as a business, an entrepreneur yourself, and you, of course, you have a North Star, and you're kind of working towards that. But you're also investing in networking, you're investing in community. It's a support community as well, because you're surrounding yourself with people maybe from different industries, but you all have the same kind of drive. So these are, looking at that, I see that as an amazing tactical advice. What other, if someone is starting something new now, they are either starting a new business or a new network or getting into a new market, what are 2-3 really honestly tactical advice as professionals as they are, that they should do or lean towards, in your opinion?
The first one I would say is, know what is it costing you to do this? And when I say costing you, I mean time-wise. Put aside the idea of you can balance everything together. It's very hard. It's very hard to balance everything. Every phase, there is something that you will, unfortunately, consciously, and this is the best part, if you're able to do it consciously, you would say, I would have this my third priority. And I'll give you an example. As the first survival 2-3 years, my health was on the back burner. Back burner. I didn't sleep well. I didn't eat well. I didn't exercise. My weight, everything just went off. But in my mind, I knew I had to let go. I would not be able to eat well while I'm working 18 hours a day on a station. So know the cost, and be comfortable with yourself to say, am I willing to pay this cost or not? It could be your health or your exercise. It could be your family time. It could be trips. It could be not able to see your friends. There will be a cost, because you cannot be in an event for a chamber or a peer group and at the same time be able to see your friends the same way. Most probably you will be bailing out a lot of these events with your friends, sleeping a bit more earlier because there are other things that you're doing. The second thing is, and I think this is one of the things that a quote I read and I really, really believe in is, a client will be a friend faster than a friend being a client. And I'm saying this for one reason, is a lot of people will always build their whole business and their emotions will be built based on, my friend will give me my first order. So again, if they gave you, it's a cherry over the cake. It's not the cake. You need to be able to have a business that stands alone without having a friend giving you this promise that is a verbal that you don't know if it will happen or not. So your business, whatever hustle, needs to be something that if you go to someone and say, I have this today, would you pay me $1 for it? If someone you don't know pay you $1, pay you $1. Don't take it for free. You have a business to go on with. And then the third, I would say something around the social media is, we think a lot that people are spotlight about you. They're thinking about you. They're focusing about what you're saying. And that's not true. Everyone is busy with themselves. No one is busy with someone else. Everyone wants to be on stage. Everyone wants to be the one in the front. Your role as a person that is running an organization is to support all your parties to be on stage, and you are the sound and light backstage. You're not on stage with them. You're supporting them, be it a team member, be it a client, be it a vendor, be it the community. The moment you are able to think in your mind, how can I service them? Automatically, you won the game with them, because they want to be the main hero of the play, not you. So when you're even online and you're putting something out, put things that can, as you said, practically help people to be the main character of their own story.
The heroes of the story.
The heroes of their story.
This is, by the way, the best advice when it comes to, a lot of people they have like body fear, not only mind fear, but body fear of networking. This is the answer to the networking, investing in other people. And there is a return to it. You just have to like play the long game. This is like the perfect example with it.
100%. I mean, I'll give you a tip on networking. When someone asks me, I'm going into a room, I don't know people, how can I start? I told them, give them the mic, as not the visual, the physical mic, but let them talk. People love to talk about their own stories, about their own things. Very similar to what I'm doing right now. So give them the chance to talk. Intrigue them with, what's your story? What brought you here? What are you expecting from this event? Who are you looking forward to meet? Give them an open question, let them talk. And eventually, the more they talk, the more they will feel comfortable being around you. And then you will start building a more meaningful relationship.
Absolutely. Oh my God, this conversation is gold. And I honestly thank you so much for your honesty about everything, because in the end, this is the real thing. I know there's a lot of material out there about these are the 10 steps to do, and this is what you need to do. Oh my God, it is actually a roller coaster. There's nothing linear about it. And I want to end this really, really great conversation with you, Moatassem, with something a bit personal. It's so funny, the world, how the world moves. But you and I, we have a lot of things in common. I mean, we both come from the Arab world. We both lived in Dubai at one point. And somehow, you know, as the way life goes, we had to restart our lives, not just in Canada, but like specifically Oakville. You know, it's such a beautiful coincidence, and I'm so honored for it. And I really think that there's something powerful about that, powerful about restarting. There is some, as painful and as hard and as you know, and as challenging as restarting is, but it also shows the great capability of a person, the restart, the reshift, everything. If you look back at that guy with his family and the two kids who came to Canada in 2019, knowing what you know today and where you are today, what would you tell that person about the journey? What would you
Yeah,
say about the journey?
yeah. I'll tell him, I'll tell him, I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you didn't throw the towel early on, which was a lot of options in my mind that's enough. I'm throwing the towel. I'm out of this game. So I'm proud that you didn't throw the towel. The second is, I'm proud that you're able to add value in a society that you're new, but also built with the same skills, values, and culture that you had. You didn't change, your personality to be able to fit in. You actually adapted it to be able to still show the same personality and character you have.
Yeah, and values. Yeah.
And values. And then the last part I would say is have full trust that life works really for you. I mean, if I would think backwards into 2019, I would have never imagined coming to Canada that I would have Amazon as one of my clients. What will I sell them? What will I sell them? I mean, your mind does not comprehend, unfortunately, big plans. The mind is a survival mode. It doesn't comprehend. So I would say, good that you trusted that good things will fall in. It's a matter of, I didn't know when. I knew something will happen, but when, I didn't know. So it was all one step after the other. I mean, I always say in the end of my videos is that progress matters. It's all taking one step forward every day. And I would say this is what I lived with for the past couple of years, and hopefully I can live with it for the next couple of years.
Oh, that's amazing. You know, it's so true. I think I would add to that, if you'd allow me, one of the things that taught me from my experience, and it was not the first restart. Like, I had to also, when you shift from corporate to building something, there's a lot of restarts. It's somehow you just got to believe in yourself. I mean, you have skills. You just need the creativity to look at your skills from different perspectives. Definitely have the big dreams, but sometimes what really happens, like the Amazon example, was beyond the wildest dreams at the level of dreams that you were dreaming. So it is possible, as long as that you have to trust that you do have the skills. You just need to be creative about it.
Patient also, Rana.
Yes.
Yeah, because
it's the long game. It's the long game.
100%. I mean, just to put it in perspective, Amazon would not have not been able to get it if it was not for COVID time. So sometimes it's also, yes, you prepared and you're working, but you would need the right time. Call it whatever you want. Call it luck, call it blessing, there has to be sometimes the right time. I can promise you this. The right time always comes. It's a matter of, is it going to come in a month, in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years? It's going to come. If you keep course, it's going to come. It's just a matter of when. So the thing is, in our mind, we're always thinking that in 6 months it should happen. Maybe the right time is not in 6 months. Maybe the universe is not yet aligned for you now. Maybe this phone call is not going to come now, but in a year it will come. Are you ready for it or not?
Exactly. Luck comes to those who are prepared.
Right.
I love that. Moatassem, this is such a rich rich conversation. So I just don't know how to thank you enough. And I particularly want to thank you for your honesty about this process, about building for a new audience, building for a new environment, building for something new, even for you, in a new industry, in a new everything. Just being honest about what it really takes and the effort that it really takes, both mentally as well as physically.
Correct.
And what does it take from you to kind of build a name and a reputation to an audience who really don't know your story yet, but you do have a story, and it started coming to the surface as you were, as you said, one step at a time. I honestly cannot thank you enough for your time. I really appreciate it. And I am sure that the people who are watching us or listening us, they're definitely going to take a lot from this conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for putting it. I really enjoyed it also. Great discussion.
Thank you so much.